So I'm here at the Rhododendron Species Garden in Federal Way, Washington, and I'm here to learn about a group of rhododendrons that grow in the tropics. So we're going to take a sneak peek into the conservatory here, and it's currently closed, unfortunately, to the public, but we are going to get a little tour from Atsuko Gibson, who is their nursery manager and assistant curator here at the garden. They're called Vireya Rhododendrons, and I recently learned through Atsuko that they're actually wonderful as houseplants. So let's go in and learn more about them. I think it's open. Yes. Hi, Atsuko. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
I'm doing all right. Thank you for letting us in here. I know it's closed to the public right now,
Yeah,
but
of course.
oh my gosh! Well, first of all, it feels wonderful. It's warm and there's even with a mask on, there's still fragrance and there's just so much to see here.
Yeah.
So I'm really curious about Vireyas, and we talked about them a little bit, and I see a few blooming there that I'm excited to see. But can you give us a little introduction about this group of rhododendrons? And also, last time I was here, you told me that they're becoming very popular as houseplants. So I'd love to learn more about them. So what can you tell us?
Okay, so Vireya is a group of rhododendron that comes from tropical environment. So there are about 1,100 species of rhododendrons around the world, and about one-third, about 300 species are Vireyas. And they come from New Guinea, Sumatra, Borneo, Philippines, and that region. And when you enter, you might notice that, they come from tropical rhododendrons, so it's going to be nice and warm in here. But it's actually not, because many of these plants that we grow in here come from higher altitude.
Okay.
So even though they come from tropical climate, they are from the top of the mountain, so the temperature is actually lower.
Okay.
So that's why you
All right.
keep this house not, heated at 80 degrees in the winter time.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Yeah. So should we just walk around?
I'd love to walk around.
So let's kind of look at this what's in bloom here.
Yes.
This is Rhododendron arborigosum. This comes from Borneo. If you look at the new growth right here, look at the red stem and the meat vein.
Oh, that's gorgeous.
Yeah, the new growth is absolutely stunning. And you can see the pure white flowers with red on the red stalk as well. And Vireya blooms all the time of the year. Not in the spring, but this time of the year actually many plants are starting to put flowers out. And if you come in February, you see lots of flowers in here.
In February?
February,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
So, yeah, it's
We'll be
very odd timing. No, a lot of people think that there will be a lot of flower in the garden, but actually in here they are.
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, that's a beautiful plant.
Yeah.
Even the new growth, I think the flowers are beautiful, but
Yes.
the new growth is exquisite.
Yes.
Oh,
Absolutely, I agree with you.
wonderful.
Yeah.
All right, what else can we see?
So this might be something that you wouldn't think it's a rhododendron right here. By just looking at the foliage, what does it remind you of?
A conifer.
Conifer, yeah.
Yeah.
This is Rhododendron taxifolium. So taxus is a genus for you.
Taxifolium.
Yeah,
Yes, yeah. Oh,
taxifolium.
okay.
So taxus-like foliage. And unfortunately, it doesn't have a flower right now, but it has a bell-shaped, pure white flowers. Yeah, just looking at it, you wouldn't think it's a rhododendron.
Not at all.
Yeah, so this one comes from the Philippines.
Ah,
Yeah, and very slow growing. This will be a really good one to grow in your bright windowsill.
Okay.
Because it's slow growing and it's unusual. And you can't miss that one.
I was checking it out in the
Yeah.
background there.
Rhododendron tuba.
Tuba. Okay, easy to remember.
Yeah.
And aptly named
Yeah,
since the tube.
absolutely,
Yeah.
Very showy flower, and it is
Amazing.
fragrant as well.
It's wet as well, sorry?
It is very fragrant as well.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
Bright red roses as well. I assume the flower shape like this, it's pollinated by bats.
Ah,
That's my assumption, but the pollinators in that region is completely different from here. So it could be flies or bats or any other weird insects or birds. So
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Wow.
I get a lot of question about, oh, how big does it get?
Mm-hmm.
So I usually give the height in 10 years,
Okay.
but it's not like it'll stop growing at 10 years. So that can give you an idea. But general rule of thumb is you can see how much it grew this year.
Oh, wow. And
So
even the
then-
foliage on that is beautiful.
Yeah. Well, actually,
Oh.
this is not the foliage on tuber. There are two plants
Oh,
in
okay.
here.
Oh,
yeah.
oh.
Yeah. So that's tuber. That's something else.
Okay.
That's a Pheochitum, which is also in bloom.
Oh.
Yeah. Look at that.
And which one is this?
This is Rhododendron Pheochitum.
Pheochitum.
Pheochitum, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh,
So
even that's
they're-
lovely.
Yeah.
And
it's-
are these both considered Vireyas?
they're Vireyas, yeah.
Okay.
So Vireyas are all of the Vireyas are contain scales. So scales are the little dots that you see on.
Let's look.
It might be hard to find this one because it has an indentation. Let's find the one.
Oh, so it's beyond the indentum,
Yes.
which is the fuzzy
Yes.
material underneath the leaf that
Yeah,
some
this one
species
easy to
have.
see. So you see the little dots on the foliage.
Yes.
That is called scale.
Oh, okay. So
Yeah.
it almost looks like mite damage almost.
It does. It does.
But it's the scales.
Right. When I
Okay.
say scales, people think of insects, so that actually
Oh,
scares
right,
them, but
right, right.
it is not. That's how the plant's supposed to look like.
Oh, okay.
And if you look at this one, this
Oh,
is
there's
another
its
good one,
flowers.
Rhododendron hematoides.
Hematoides. Okay.
And you can see the scales on the flower.
Ah.
And if you come back in, I don't know, month and a half, all these flower buds will be in bloom.
Oh.
Yeah, so
Oh, interesting.
I have so many a picture of this flower because it's just so unusual.
It
And the
is.
scale on the flower is
Look at
just
it again.
very attractive.
Oh, that's super cute. Huh.
Or how about someone here, in blue?
Oh.
This is called Rhododendron Good Enoughi. That's a very
You're
easy-
kidding.
No, I'm not kidding. Good Enoughi. It's because it's good enough.
It's
But,
could be better, but no, I'm joking.
So the name comes from I think it's a mountain. I can't remember if it's a mountain or the island of the name. It's a Mount Good Enoughi, I think.
Okay.
Yeah,
Wow.
like that, so that's
And
what's
this
good.
flower structure here is exquisite.
Isn't
So
it? Isn't it? Yeah. This, bright
long
red stamens.
tube and
Yeah, it's a vigorous grower.
wow.
as
And
you
it's
can
very
see, but
vigorous. So it's
yeah.
quite tall, even from top to bottom too. Look at it. I mean, it is sort of lanky and it's a habit, but I think it's charming. Pardon the light here, but it's oh my gosh, wow.
Nice flowers.
That's lovely. You are good enough, buddy. Aww. Wow.
Here's some color left here. These are yellow and orange. That's Rhododendron McGregory.
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 Ah.
It comes from Indonesia and New Guinea.
Uh-huh.
And it puts on a stunning show area. You can see the variation on the flowers. But,
Yes.
You know, it's bright orange to yellow, anything in intermediate. It's just absolutely showy Vireyas.
This is catching my attention. This is beautiful foliage.
This is Rhododendron pudorinum, and it has sort of like a metallic sheen to it, to the foliage. So yeah, the flowers pale pink, more like a salmony pale pink color. So it's a really nice thing. You can see it in a couple months. But yeah, the foliage alone is worth growing for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think in general too, with rhododendrons, whether it's the tropical Vireya types or the ones that we have out in the gardens here, let's start looking at foliage and even buds and everything besides the flower, because there's so much to rhododendron that we tend to take for granted and overlook. So lovely, lovely, lovely.
This is Rhododendron corneri.
Wow.
Yeah, Yeah, flowers could be even bigger. There are no other flowers right now, but this one occurs in New Guinea.
Yeah, it's exquisite.
Yeah, look at the new growth covered in this buzz.
So is this an example of, is this a rhododendron here that's in a container?
This is rhododendron called Kamiai, which has the bright yellow flowers.
Mm-hmm.
And this is growing in a hanging basket.
Mm.
So if you grow Vireyas, what you must have is a sharp branch. Many of the Vireya grow as epiphyte in the wild, which means they just sit on the tree trunk or, tree from branch, or, it's not rooted into the ground.
Uh-huh.
So that means that the roots cannot sit in the heavy salty water. They need air and root system. So hanging basket is actually a fantastic way to grow Vireyas.
Yeah.
It does require more frequent watering.
Right.
So that's one thing. But look at this. It's absolutely free drainage here.
Yes, yes.
And this is basket was made by Dennis Bottomiller, who is the creator of the Conservatory. And he just made it using this wire mesh and line it with the moss and then fill it with our Vireya potting mix, which is pretty much the half oaky bark and half of our rhodie potting mix. So,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
So it's too bad that the conservatory is not open to the public. So Atsuko, thank you so much for showing us around here.
Of course, yeah.
So we're at the nursery here, again behind the scenes. Public doesn't get to go through here, but so here's where they start, yeah?
Yeah.
So are most of your Vireyas then grown from seed or cuttings?
Both.
Okay.
Steve actually went to New Guinea in 2013.
Oh, cool.
So he
Wow.
brought back well-collected seeds.
Uh-huh.
So those we grew from seed. But most we have here are grown from cuttings.
Okay.
Yeah, Vireya grow very easy from cuttings. So.
And then as we look up behind, so they're obviously the more mature. So when people buy Vireya, what's a good size, to start plant? Is it better to start with a plant that's younger, like these in the front, or is it better to start with a plant that's a little more established?
Well, we won't sell it at this stage.
Okay.
They're just too iffy, it hasn't been established yet. So we don't want to sell them yet. We want people to have success, so we will sell them bigger. So these plants will go on sale for probably next year, late next year maybe, but
Okay.
they're too early to purchase. So
Got it.
anything we sell or, like this size, so that it's established, roots are starting to show up.
Okay.
But when you purchase, this shouldn't need repotting for another year or two. Yeah. So wait till you can really see the roots from the bottom, and that's when you wanna repot.
Got it.
Yeah.
Oh, and there's a familiar species of the
Oh, yeah.
foliage that we
Look at
saw.
that one, yeah.
Just the variety in foliage morphology of this group is
Yeah.
really, really
So
interesting.
this is like a ground cover Vireya. This is Rhododendron Poilania. You can see how it wants to
Wow.
crawl the ground. It's a bright yellow flowers, very easy to grow. Yeah. This might do well like in a hanging basket. type too. You might
Absolutely,
not
I could
want to go down
easily
all the
see
way,
it
yeah,
in
but yeah.
the hanging
Yeah.
basket.
Yeah, and this volume is ready for sale.
Aha.
That's the size that we normally offer for sale. Yeah.
Of Vireya type.
Yeah.
Okay.
That would be too small.
Very nice. Very healthy.
And if you wanna look for flowers on the internet, what the grow look like in Vireyas, a really good resource is vireya.net.
Vireya.net.
And
Okay.
they have category. You can sort by species or hybrid, and it's on the alphabetical order, so you can look up.
Oh.
They look like where they're native to, so that's a really good resource.
Tremendous resource. Okay.
Yeah, I use that quite often too.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Well, Atsuko, thank you so much for this primer on Vireya Rhododendrons.
Of course.
There's a lot to learn and a lot to explore and grow here. Oh my gosh. So this is where it all starts here at their nurseries here at the Rhododendron Species Garden in Federal Way. So many thanks, Atsuko. And so yeah, we'll have to come back and see more in flower. And yeah, now I get to choose and see which one I want to try. Nice. So they have few for sale here. So not many left, obviously. And as you have noticed, they've been propagating more of them. So, but I'm eager to purchase my first Vireya. So look at the foliage on that. Really cute. Let's see. Ooh, that's worth trying. This is Jasmine florum. Ooh, I like the sound of that. Oh, look at that. Oh, wow. See, even the foliage I love on this. Can't see it. Very pink. Ha! Good plant for beginning Vireya grower. Alright. That's the one.